Hello, everybody. It's Paul Neeson with Torah Ministries. We have another great guest interview today, our friend Leo. Leo, say hello to the Torah audience.
Hello, everybody.
All right. Leo is grew up Catholic, and Leo, tell us your story, how you got into the Hebraic roots from being Catholic, and I want to discuss how people are, accepting of your Hebraic roots lifestyle and all that. But first, tell us about your upbringing. You said you brought up Catholic, correct?
That's right. I grew up Catholic. My family has been for at least two generations that I know have been Catholic. And I myself was baptized and went through um, several sacraments in the Catholic Church. But it was around senior year of high school that I just started questioning everything, started questioning the Catholic Church and its authority. And actually, it was that year that I just decided to ask questions directly to the authority of the church, or that is the deacons and the priest. And many of them told me that what I was doing was what Luther and many other Protestants were doing, and that if my questions sounded more like the Protestants, and if I wanted to be like them, that I was in the wrong. And at least one of the questions that I had was regarding the Sabbath. Right away, when I was reading the Bible, I had a question regarding the Sabbath. I wanted to know why they changed it. So it was around um, December that I just decided to step out of the church after they asked me um, to stop asking certain questions, and that I was confusing people. And I remember a certain individual asking me what I was doing in the Catholic Church if I didn't believe what they were teaching. So after that point, I decided to step out. And ever since then, I was doing everything by myself with a close friend, and then celebrating the Sabbath, or at least observing the Sabbath as best as I could. And at one point, it was from 12 on Friday to 12 o'clock on Saturday, and that's when I thought the Sabbath was. And then I started reading more of the scriptures, found out it was from evening to evening. And it was a year after I left the Catholic Church, around November of that year after. It was 2012 that actually 2011 that I left. Um, I was about to leave to Riverside for college. I was going to go to UCR, and I met a family that introduced me to Torah. And right away, the first night I heard about the concept of Torah and how the law wasn't done away with, it was the entire law was still applicable, and the entire law, and there was I had to go through a learning process, but that the law was still valid. That same night, I just accepted it, because thinking about it logically and just hearing this family out, it made sense. At least for me, it made so much sense. And I decided to stay local in San Diego, and from there, it's been 3 years since I've been and just been practicing and trying to do Torah as best as I can. And it's been a journey where even the Christian church where I was at, I was asked to leave. Right away, I decided to go into Messianic Judaism, and I had a little journey through that. But Yehovah has brought me to a place in my life where He's just constantly teaching me and constantly showing me the wonders of the Torah, just like it says in Psalms. And it's been a blessing, definitely a big blessing. It's been 4 years now where
That's wonderful, man. That's so great. So, how did your family that brought you up Catholic? How they react to this?
well, when I started keeping the Sabbath and I decided to leave the church, my family they were really opposed to it. They just thought I had issues and thought I was going through a phase, and some of my family members actually stopped talking to me. Uh, and for a long time, I was seen as this individual who had weird beliefs, and all my beliefs were, according to them, were just beliefs that were convenient to me. It was stuff that um, they thought I was just picking and choosing from the Bible, that the Sabbath was just an excuse not to work on Saturday, and certain commandments were just an excuse or were just a way out to not do certain things or not be with the family. But up until this point, I've been respected, or I've learned to be respected in regards to my faith. And a lot of my family members have come to the conclusion that this is not a phase, and I'm not going back to the church, even though they've asked me several times to go back. And it's been hard for my family in many ways. I think just because it's a cultural change, because I'm returning back to the ways that Yehovah has commanded his people Israel, that it's a cultural change. It challenged just the core of what I was raised with, and Yehovah is bringing me to a different place, a place where it's full obedience and faith on him rather than obedience and faith on culture or population or the Pope or a priest or pastor or rabbi. So it's been a journey, and my family has learned to accept it in their own way.
Sure. And what about, do you have any family members or friends at all that heard your testimonial and decided that what you are telling them is the truth and they've actually followed your path?
Uh, Family members, no. The closest one that started or left the church was my brother. He became a Christian about 2 years ago, and that was because actually I've talked to him about some stuff, but he went through his own experience when he was living down in Mexico, and that's where he became a believer. But other than that, it was a couple friends outside of my family that once I started talking about Torah, they actually they repented of sin and decided to walk in obedience and decided to walk in the ways of Yehovah. And one of them actually, I was he was like he used to be a Calvinist, and we used to debate back and forth over many things. And one day I just brought up the subject of law, and um, instead of trying to disprove it, he just heard me out. And I think we talked about this subject for several hours, and we were meeting up constantly after that. And he came into the faith really quick. He repented. He decided to follow Yehovah and be obedient to the Torah. And ever since then, he's did a complete U-turn in regards to his belief system. And prior to that, I've talked to several other friends, and with one of them specifically, I introduced him to to the Sabbath, and with him, it was actually a journey, as long with other friends too. That we were introduced with the Torah, and we started keeping Torah in different ways, but independently, we were searching out for truth. And it's been the same way with other people.
throughout my walk as well. So um, in regards to family, no, but in regards to friends, I have talked to several of them, and some of them have actually come into the understanding that the law is still applicable.
Wonderful, wonderful. That's great. Hallelujah. So, what would be your advice or your
Definitely.
suggestion to anyone who's new to this or struggling with the idea? What would be your advice to them if they think that Torah is real but they don't want to offend other people? Or what would be your advice to them?
My biggest advice is look at the example that we have in our Messiah Yeshua, and the fact that he didn't, the religious authority was always against him in regards to that the religious authority was preaching commandments of man, but Yeshua was practicing, living, and preaching the kingdom of Jehovah. In regards to the kingdom, he was practicing and living the rules of the kingdom, which is Torah. If we look at his example, we will see that he wasn't afraid to speak about the kingdom. He wasn't afraid to live according to the rules of the kingdom. And if we truly confess him as Messiah, and according to Deuteronomy 18, that we must hear and obey every single word that that prophet, which is speaking of Messiah, says, that then by default we must listen and follow all his rules. And some of his rules, speak about being bold and being strong in the rock and not building our houses or our foundation on sand. But if our foundation is on the rock, then we will be firm and we will be confident when times come. What I really want to encourage a lot of people to do is listen and obey to the words of Messiah. I think his lifestyle and everything that he had to say to us is basically the way that we will be prepared when those times will come where we will be asked about our faith, or our faith will be tested and our obedience will be tested. But if we listen to Messiah, I
Sure.
believe that is the best way we could be strong, and always be ready to have an answer. Always be ready to have an answer in regards to Torah, in regards to any of the commandments. And
Hallelujah, brother. So, if somebody wanted to get in touch with you to hear more about your testimonial or just to talk to you about Torah, what would be the best way they can contact you?
yeah, they could contact me to Facebook, which is Leo Hernandez Colon, and my email is it's Leo Hernandez Hernandez Colon COLON at yahoo.com, and both are great ways to contact me if they have any questions or
Very good, man.
any if they want to contact me for anything. But
Great. Well, everybody, we contact Leo, and sorry about the dark screen and the picture, everybody, but Leo had such a great testimonial. I wanted him to get on here and share it with everyone. So, Leo, thank you for taking out the time to join us, and keep up the great work, brother.
definitely, thank you, appreciate it.